January 25th, 2010. This is Diehard Gamer Radio, show 82.
You are approaching the target of attack. Your mission starts now. Are you ready? The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go!
You are listening to Diehard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. And now, your hosts, Murdock, Brian, John, and Steve.
Just a couple more shots.
Maybe this one counts as 83.
082 because it's three significant digits.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome back to Die Hard Gamer Radio. I am Murdock, and with me, let's see, I'll just do this in random order. I have John.
There's only a limited amount of randomness you can get to.
Get to write our names down on a piece of paper and pull them.
You know, I should have put that on here. You know, I might forget one day.
It's truly random either. I mean, we might need some nuclear decay particles and
yes.
Appropriately.
Yes. You have to make sure to salt your.
So we have
a magic 8-ball with our names in it.
All right. So we have John, Brian, and Steve. Because if I don't say the intros, I'll never get to them.
I wonder what the randomness is of a magic 8-ball. If you just did it over and over again, put it in a machine. I wonder how truly random that is.
I'm sure there's a Wikipedia article on that.
Somebody's probably
depends on how good a job they did making the little floater thing.
Yeah.
I think I saw a test where how often the answer was appropriate.
So it's 0.
1 in 3 or 1 in 4 times, I think.
So, do we have anything before we get to the meat and potatoes part of the podcast?
I got a lint in my pocket.
Potato.
Just to add, both Steve and Brian got beta invites for Star Trek Online.
Yeah, I don't think Brian used it.
Oh, wow. Total celebration on that one.
I actually bought mine, but I want to try it out. So it was a whopping $6.99 for File Planet for a month. So.
Oh, okay.
I got mine free. And it's pretty fun.
Really?
Yeah. Once you get past all the whiners in the forum who are like, oh my god, this thing doesn't work. Yeah, that's why you're in the beta. That's why there's that big bug icon on the screen. You're supposed to click on that and fill out the form. That's why you're being able to play for free. That's the charge.
I may have a beta for Command & Conquer 4, though.
Yeah.
Because I found him on Facebook, so I'm going to get into that and see if I can get the beta for that.
Command & Conquer 4, raping the franchise.
Yeah, we'll see.
Is that actually the subtitle for it?
Yeah, might as well be.
All right.
Speaking of, have you found your green slave girl yet?
I have not found my green slave girl yet. I have not.
He's been wasting all his drachmas on maneuver.
After playing it for about a week and a half and thoroughly enjoying the combat on it, which is pretty awesome because
both ground and space, or more one than the other.
It's actually pretty equal.
It's pretty even. I got a pretty even distribution of you warp in the orbit around this planet, which you can actually go around. Unlike in Eve, you get to a planet and you can go around the whole planet if you want to.
Wow. Orbiting, imagine.
Not only that,
concept.
but you can go around its moons too. It's pretty nifty. I went around.
Can you crash into the planet?
Well, I don't know if you can crash into the planet, although the planets do get more detailed as you get closer to them.
Okay.
And if you go between a planet and the sun, and the planet or the moon and the sun, you are very, very blinded by the reflection of the planet through your view screen. You're like, God damn it, I can't.
You can finally take a trip around Uranus.
Yeah. But I imagine that would be really good for if you're being pursued by somebody. If you could make it around the planet.
Or maybe if you need to slingshot and get enough speed
to go back in time. Yeah. I didn't try to go to the sun because the sun was really far away, so I don't know how that would work. But you actually have to pilot your damn ship to do combat and shit. So it's pretty awesome.
Huh. Fly the thing around, literal-like.
Yeah.
It's
not like click
not
over.
Just click a target.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can button mash your weapons if you want, but they have a thing where you can set you have forward and aft banks, at least on your intro ship, and you can set one of the weapons in each bank to auto fire, and then you can button mash the other one. Okay. So what you do in the normal ship is you set the auto fire to the phasers, and then you button mash the photons whenever it gets around, because photons have a much longer recharge rate.
Right.
But you have to manage fire arcs, because your weapons won't reach all the way around your ship.
Well, that seems authentic.
Yeah.
They leave that out, all the Star Trek Command fans would be pissed.
Yeah.
And they give you a good class of ship to start with the Reliance, so you do have the forward and aft phasers.
And the shields on the other ships have 4 quadrants for shields. And
Right.
if you're fighting a big ship and there's only a couple of you, if you both all stay in the same quadrant, you can take from the shields on one and start shooting photons up their ass until they blow up.
You could shift all the power of other shields to the forward shield.
You can redirect energy around systems on your ship.
Well, that's nice to have back.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Such a little thing,
there's
but
a
it
lot
makes
of
a big difference.
The summary is remarkably well polished for only having 18 months of development.
Yeah.
Not what would have expected. Really.
No, I did not. I was like, wow, this is actually really good for 18 months. So.
I think there was a lot
As long as
of
you-
pressure on them to.
Well,
to
As long as you
There's a
ignore
lot
the
of pressure
form
on
trolls.
all of these massive companies. So
Yeah. So I pre-ordered and I get the con emote. I found
Cool.
out if you order from Steam, you don't need to use Steam to play it.
weird.
Yeah.
They just download
You-
the game and then it's totally independent of Steam.
You apparently can
well,
run it
you
through
wanna
Steam
leave
if you
it running
want to.
so that it has, if updates pop
No,
up, then you get the
no.
updates.
No. MMOs don't. Steam doesn't handle MMO updates very well. They're always late.
Okay.
So you want to run it out of the normal thing. You can run it through Steam, but you want to run it on its own.
Okay.
So,
Good.
It's not like they need to use the Steam DRM stuff. So
right.
Cool. All right.
yeah.
What was the goodies that you get? Oh yeah.
I
we
get
saw
the
first.
con emote, and I get the TOS uniforms,
Okay.
and I get some cheesy ass turret that the DPS isn't very good.
Wasn't that the one that also had the Trill?
The Trill symbiote.
experience?
This Trill symbiote. I don't know if you get the Trill symbiote or not.
I thought that was Steam. Maybe it was Amazon or something.
So when the beta's
Myself.
over, are they going to reset
Beta's
everyone to? Oh, it is.
Yeah, they wipe everybody at the end of betas. It's very rare that you get your character at the end of beta.
Ah.
But
Well-
you do get, if you pre-order, you get into the 3 to head start, which is like no big deal. You can't power level in that game anyway, really, because
Cool.
it's all skill based.
Well, I'm sure you'll enjoy the game until Sony Online Entertainment buys it.
Yeah, you're telling me.
I give it 6 months max.
Yeah. That's okay. I didn't buy the
Should we
lifetime
put?
subscription.
Should we just
so I'm
put
okay.
money on it now?
Yeah, shit.
They had some contest I saw recently somewhere where you get a chance to win a lifetime subscription, and I'm like, well, that's great if it lasts a lifetime. What's a lifetime?
It's not
for
like
an MMO,
Tabula
like
Rasa or
3 years?
anything.
I think you had
like that.
to do. I think if you played it for 2 years, you make your money back or something like that. It's like I don't know any MMO
Damn.
that I've played for 2 years.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to the news here. First up, Netflix coming to Wii, disc required. What? Yeah. Although Reggie Fils-Aimé, the CEO of Nintendo, said, well, HD content is that big of a deal because not everyone has HD. So we're
Huh.
good with having Netflix on there
That's
just
good.
by itself.
Antibiotics aren't that big of a deal because not everybody has antibiotics. So.
Not everybody has a cold. Yeah.
not everybody actually has the disease. Yeah. So what's the matter?
Yeah, exactly.
So next up, I'm not sure how that analogy works, but all right.
Let's go with it.
Poorly.
Go with it.
Gran Turismo 5 delayed again.
Deja vu.
In other words, in other news, grass is green and sky is blue. And the sky is blue.
I
So,
like how it's delayed until who knows.
Let's
we
delay
have
it
this
until
topic in the last
Forza
podcast?
Motorsport 4
Well,
comes out.
it's the recurring joke now.
Well, you're supposed
It's
to
like
say
Jump
delayed
Gate
again,
Evolution.
again.
So, according to Sony Computer Entertainment Japan, the game's like 95% done. I think last time I heard from Kotaku, so I don't know what the 5% is.
Yeah, well-
Possibly coding.
Maybe
well, we have all
next year
these
it'll
graphics.
be 96.7. Because there's an easy way to quantify all that.
Yeah, it's like trying to read a Microsoft download. It's not quite accurate. Even at the end. I actually was installing Windows 7 over the weekend, and I was moving a file from one hard drive to another, and it actually got down to the little bar that said 0 bytes, and then it ran for another 15 minutes.
What?
Yeah, I love
We're
that.
like, what?
It's Microsoft time.
Yeah. We're like, oh, Windows 7 just cured everything. Look at that.
That's what we tell people when they say, how come when I copy stuff sometimes it doesn't work? Like Microsoft time. It's
Mhm.
Microsoft standard time.
So next up, next Assassin's Creed to feature online multiplayer. Wait, what?
Oh, great! It's
Can we
gonna,
assassinate each other?
Yeah, it's gonna be 20. It's gonna be 32 people sneaking up on each other and stabbing each other.
Counter.
Yeah.
That game would be pretty weird if you had to play it in first person and you turned real slow.
Yeah, it'd be like Thief multiplayer. It's just you sneaking around trying to assassinate each other.
Or just everyone going into those little tents on the roof
Yeah,
to just hide.
just hide.
It's like 30 people just jump in there.
Be like a clown box.
That'd be bad when you see the tent start bouncing, though.
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing in here?
It would be kind of cool, though, if you got to take out 10 guys and you all just surround them and secretly walk up behind at the same time and assassinate all in, like, on cue. That could be really cool.
Co-op could be interesting, but I bet it's
Yeah.
going to be competitive, which
Yeah,
is
which
weird.
is- which
And
is-
how do you
oh,
teabag
God.
someone in
Co-op.
Assassin's Creed? I mean,
Same crouch button you use
Yep.
for everything else.
Yeah.
You just won't see it because of the little things that hang over
Yeah.
the front and the back of the outfit.
His skirt is.
Altair's outfit.
it's Ezio. Not Altair, but
Well, it'll probably be somebody completely different.
Well,
Oh,
if you
yeah,
beat the
for,
game correctly, you get Altair's outfit.
yes,
so
you do.
Technically,
Yes,
it
you
is
do.
his outfit.
Yes. Although I'm not quite sure what they're going to do for Assassin's Creed 3. Probably, who knows?
It's gonna be exactly like Modern Combat 1. They're just gonna release that game with a different a different cover.
That's
just be running
probably
around-
not too far from the
You're
truth.
just gonna run around in Russia blowing people's arms off.
That's excellent.
Stalker.
So next up, Hellgate London returns from the dead, which is good news for Steve. Maybe.
I mean, seriously, why would it's gonna be like what you call it, micropayments up the wazoo because it's gonna be a Korean game.
Are
They
even
love their
gonna-
micropayments over there.
Are they even going to release it in the U.S.?
Oh,
I mean,
I
it
doubt
sounds
it.
like they're getting
Well, they-
ready to release this in a bunch of Asian countries.
It will
Well-
be released in North America.
Yeah, who's gonna rebuy that game?
Well,
mean-
you don't have to. I mean, you still
Well,
own
how-
the disc, right?
But yeah, but
You still
yeah,
got to pay for
the
the
ch-
subscription.
the chances of that disc working again for the same thing, not really. No.
Well, maybe.
I
'cause
doubt
if
it.
they're just
See
buying
why
the
they-
rights, they might not actually be able to do much in the way of development on it. So I just put the same thing back up.
I don't
I
know.
don't see why they wouldn't allow people that.
Yeah,
They'd have to.
bought
They'd
play.
have to put out a big ass patch because all their stuff would have to redirect to the new servers.
Well, yeah, but they only paid $40,000 for it, so.
Leaves enough left over for a global search and replace.
So, not too interested in that, I'm
No.
assuming. All right.
It was kind of cool at the time, and it looks kind of dated now. It's kind of interesting and sort of a hey, let's play this, put this in and play it again kind of thing. But sitting down and playing it, paying money for it. When I got Star Trek Online waiting for me.
Okay. All right.
Not really a thing.
Could play something actually
Something,
new.
something.
All right. So next up, and this will interest Brian, Death Smiles has been picked up for North America. Publishers Access Games. They will redo the artwork and cover and rename it Mobile Light Force 3. I'm kidding.
Oh God. That means they're gonna sell like one copy per GameStop, and then it's gonna be over.
Well, that's assuming that the GameStop gets one copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have this freaking GameStop. When I went in, I was trying to figure out where I wanted to pre-order from. I was actually near a GameStop, so I stopped in and I asked them for it. They didn't know. I'm like, it's a pretty big franchise. I'm pretty sure you get a bulletin for it every day. Having worked at EB, they're gonna jam this, this pre-order thing down your. Nope, didn't know. Had no idea. Had to go up in the internet and look up on their own website what their pre-order bonuses were.
Oh, that's excellent.
Well, when you pay a kid with
Yeah.
Walmart wages,
Yeah.
what do you expect?
It's getting $6.25 to stand there and jockey the used games into cases.
Given that Amazon has given some pretty good discounts for pre-orders these days.
Yeah.
It's
think
not-
you'd wanna sell
This one
everyone
isn't
you
about
could.
the price. It's about the bonuses. There's so many freaking bonuses out there.
Yeah.
There's like 20 different websites that are all selling.
Yeah,
them
but I
out.
mean, what he's saying is, you got Amazon and Steam and stuff doing all these great bonus stuff. If somebody comes in and asks you about what your pre-orders is, your employees probably need to know so you can at least make a pre-order.
Yeah. Not really building the confidence in the customer there.
Well,
Nor the pre-order.
this is GameStop we're talking about.
Yeah.
So next up, PlayStation is a poison, says Venezuelan President.
Yeah, that's right.
I
His
thought
country's going to shit, so he blames a game system, right?
I thought that the PlayStation was the thing that caused the Haitian earthquake.
No, that was Pat Robertson.
So, Die Hard Gamer Radio,
That was the
abreast of
experimental device.
current events here. Yeah, Hugo Chavez says it's a poison that leads children down the capitalist road to hell.
Did
Wow.
they actually ban Mercs too there? I don't remember if they went through with that one or not.
It's
Wouldn't that be
ironic.
apropos?
I
That would be
don't
awesome.
know. That's a good question. So my comment was, isn't Venezuela already a road to hell?
Well, you know, the shining path had to go somewhere.
Oh, again with the shining pen.
Well, and it's always a good thing when you can put Hillary Clinton and Hugo Chavez in the same box.
Well, yeah.
Just let them fight it to the death.
That's going to be on WiiWare, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a virtual console game.
So,
It's on XBLA.
yep. Activision is planning a second DJ Hero game because the first one sold so well.
I'm telling you, man, they need to take and make this into a dancing plus DJing game. If you had, it'd be a great party game if you had two people that had to dance along to the game, as well as the person who had to mix the dance songs correctly. It'd be a great party game.
Well, you're just trying to create something more like Rock Band where there's multiple people involved.
Well, yeah, where there's more than one person sitting there. I mean,
Well, now
I
that
can
they got
just
a
go
sequel
buy a
coming out, they can
turntable
actually
for
put people and
$200.
have them go head to head, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but they need to make this into a party game as opposed to a cheap ass turntable rhythm game.
Are you still wanting to buy it?
Not the old version.
It's almost
boring as
better to
hell.
wait for the second one now.
I don't know. I played it at Best Buy. I'm totally waiting for it to end up in a bargain bin for $50.
You might be waiting a while.
It's
his-
getting there pretty quick, actually.
For as cheap as that controller feels,
They didn't-
yeah,
well, they
I
didn't-
think
they
I could
didn't
pay a little
sell
less
very
for
many.
it.
So
And that's one of those
Not
things that
flying off the
retail's
shelf.
got to hang on to them big boxes for too long.
yeah.
How much is the game right now? It's like, what, $79, $89?
The
Still about
cheapest
100,
sale
isn't
I've
it?
seen for it was for $100, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cheapest
started
thing
at
before around
200,
Christmas
so,
was
yeah.
120.
Well, for the Renegade J's
Yeah, yeah.
special gold plated
That's with the
bling
table
edition.
and
Yeah,
carrying
yeah.
top double thing.
I mean, the next one they need to have two turntables and everything because it's not really being a DJ
Two
hero if you don't have
turntables
two
and
of
a
them.
microphone.
So,
Well, we'll see how that works out.
You move through the room like
well, you
ambulance
could buy
drivers.
like a real cheap ass, an actual real ass, cheap ass CDJ ripoff for $200.
Yeah.
And you don't need to get the game. So,
You can make your own music.
yeah.
Doesn't that require skill and talent?
Well, one would argue that perhaps video games also require such.
Well, they require skill. I'm not sure about talent.
Well, yes.
So, Samurai Shodown, Edge of Destiny canceled, which would have interested Brian, but as the game's been canceled,
Well,
not
for
so
U.S.
much.
release.
Yeah,
Still coming out in Japan?
it is out in Japan. I think it's out in other Asian countries, but the Japanese one is censored. So you have to
Surprise.
actually go to like the Taiwan and
Well, there's an
and
all
like
Asian, isn't
China.
there? They've
Did
gotta
they
have an
region
Asian
lock it?
release.
What is it?
Of course.
What is it
Bummer.
censored?
Well,
What is
'cause they
censored
don't
in it?
always
blood and,
region lock those.
blood and dismemberment have
Oh.
been censored.
That kind of cripples a lot of what makes Samurai Showdown worth owning, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next on our list, South Korea rules virtual currency as good as cash.
So
they
maybe
just-
this is why Hugo Chavez is all upset about it all.
So,
Just road to capitalist doom right
It is,
there.
Yeah.
so they decided that virtual currency is the equivalent of real world money. I'm not sure
Well,
how that's going to work out.
It works.
It's
It works
not-
out as well as they want it to work out to be taxable. It's the whole point of the ruling is that now they can tax virtual currency.
How's that going
Does
to
that
work
mean you
out?
can get your money back out too?
I don't know.
That'd
Out
be
of the
interesting.
virtual currency?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point of that thing. Was that there's nothing in the financial rules and regulations in South Korea that prevents these from being equivalent exchanges.
Well, that means it's going to create a whole new virtual stock market.
Well, there already is one. I mean, there's whole
Well, not
currency
that you can
exchange
pull money
things.
out of, though.
Yeah,
Well,
there is.
yeah, yeah.
Because that's people on eBay buying fake currency.
Yeah.
Well, I mean to a point, but you need to have a guaranteed bank that you can go pull your money out from
Don't
at
need a
any time.
guarantee. It's working fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's been there's already exchanges that track how much real money is worth in in-game money for specific games, and that's what you base your trading on
Wow.
eBay and all these other places.
Huh.
Yeah.
So how's the Linden dollar doing?
How many
Not
Amero-
as good as it used to be.
How many Ameros do you get out of that?
Yeah, well, Probably more than Linden's.
There's probably a stock ticker somewhere on CNET that's tracking all this crap. It's like, well, the World
that
of
would need
Warcraft
CNET to know anything about technology.
It's the gold farming index.
Yeah.
CNET, the aggregator of aggregators.
That'd be a fascinating retirement fund.
Yeah. My
I've
401k
invested in
is
gold farming. You
yeah.
what?
What would that be? Like small cap growth, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a global index
Yeah,
now.
that would be a Pacific Asian index fund there.
By the way, Diehard Gamer Radio does not endorse John or Steve's financial advice.
No, totally put all your money in this. It'll be great.
Hey, look how well the .com
Past
did.
performance is not indicative of future results.
Yeah, well,
The
you know.
.coms cannot fail.
But it might be. Oh, you know what I've heard? And speaking of this is really funny. There's commercials for penny stock newsletters on the Playboy channel on Sirius. It's
Oh,
great. They do all these little subjective. They grow. It's like awesome.
I wonder if they've got some study that people watching porn have poor impulse control. Right?
I actually saw the best thing yesterday. I saw a Playboy Playmate on
The internet.
No, it was on
Giving stock tips?
Ninja Warrior.
You
It was on the female Ninja Warrior.
Huh.
What, huh? Oh, you mean
Was
the
she
G4?
competing?
Yeah, she actually went into Japan and competed. She made it through the first round and then fell horribly in the middle of the second one, but it was pretty funny.
I'm sure her boobs broke her fall.
No, she had a pretty tight bikini on.
So what did Kenny and Vic say about her?
Wrong show.
Oh, sorry.
Wrong.
This is the one where they at least actually show the goddamn show.
Which is a lot less interesting if you ask me.
Yeah. It's like Wipeout, only kind of boring. Well, it's kind of like Wipeout. But anyway.
Seriously, if it's a Japanese game show and it's not either MXC or it involves women giving blowjobs in public to contestants.
No, wait, what game show is this?
Have you been on the internet?
Well,
Look it up.
How do you become a contestant on that show?
You got to be in Japan first.
Well, there was that one Japanese game show where like they had contestants try and eat at a convenience store. Did you ever see that one?
No.
Okay.
Like the whole thing?
Yes,
Cinder
including the
blocks and
inedible
all?
stuff.
That sounds like a bad idea.
Well,
It sounds like a Japanese game show.
Well, welcome to Japan, where bad ideas mean good TV.
Yeah. I did
Next.
see I Survived a Japanese game show. That was pretty wacky.
Oh yeah. So next up, OnLive demoed. Lag graphics are a problem. Gee, what a big surprise!
Oh man, you should have seen the war garble about this in the forum for that article. Oh, it was just crazy. There were people that were seriously butthurt that this came out because apparently the guy who did the quote unquote review was using a bootleg version of it from one of his buddies.
Plus, he wasn't anywhere near where you were supposed to.
And
be
they're
for the
like, and it's
subscription.
really laggy. Well, if he was a lot closer, it'd be a lot better. It's like, yeah, if he was on the land, it'd be a lot better too. But guess where he's not going to be, you know?
So how do you steal a copy?
Apparently, they don't have very good
Well-
they don't have very good restrictions on how it restricts who uses the beta. So he just got it from a buddy who was actually in the beta.
Yeah, the guy just
and
gave the
installed it.
passwords, and he.
And he set it up and. But man, there was some butthurt people on there. They were like,
this on
"This will
R?
be really good," and you're like, "How do you know?" I mean, and they just kept going and going.
Was this on ours?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
There's a lot of
before,
butthurt people on ours comment threads.
Well,
Why do
The
people
DRM's
want
only
this
kicked
to
in
be
in the last couple of years, though, because I used to buy games on eBay, PC games, and I just have the person send me their password and log on for it, and I'd be able to install the game and log on as them, so I could at least play the game, and then have to buy a new. So it's just in the last couple of years the DRM's changed where it's actually locked it to the computer that you play, and
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's what they usually do with the beta, so the betas don't get spread around, and they don't. Apparently, they didn't do this for this.
this one
but-
probably wasn't very well thought out. So.
Well, it's on live. It's the Phantom console again.
Yeah.
so John had an
I don't
interesting
know. I
comment.
think the
Why?
Phantom might be a better idea.
Well, John had an interesting comment where he's basically asked, "Why would anyone want this?"
Well, apparently it's so that people on lower powered machines can run more current games.
Okay, then.
Which
don't
is
really,
what you buy a console for.
yeah,
right?
I don't understand what the.
That's what the Xbox Arcade is for. Isn't
Well,
it?
it's the same thing. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's the same weird thing you get on some Kotaku threads where people are like, "Well, what I'm trying to do is do this and this and this," and you're like, "Why? Why do you make your life harder on you? You know, there's enough people out there trying to make your life hard. You don't have to help them."
Yeah, there was something else on Kotaku about some guy that started his own business of giving money toward digitally downloaded games. He's like, well, if you have like an Xbox Live game, you can send it and he'll give you money for it. I'm like, okay, how's this business model going to work?
Huh. Well, I mean, that's what GameStop's doing. So,
You're giving money for downloaded games?
Yeah, you give the money to GameStop, and they set it up with your account so that when you go home and turn on your Xbox, it's downloading.
Yeah,
for it.
but this is a game that you've already downloaded and it's used, and you want to get money for it.
Oh, well, I don't know how he's going to do that.
It's not gonna work.
Seeing as there's no way to resell any of that.
Actually, interesting enough, there is, if you hack enough. I was on my, it was on Twitter, and Gabe had put something up, and he had, pound penny arcade or whatever on for his little tag thingy. So I clicked on that, and there was a guy who had put up on an Arabic language wares forum an extracted version of episode 1, Rain Slick Precipice of Darkness, on a DVD image. And they had set up a thing where they had extracted from it, and they did some mod to it, and then they put it on a DVD, and you could play it off the CD.
That
Took some
excellent.
effort.
I'm like, wow. Or you could pay $10 and you could just play it.
Where's the challenge in that?
Less because they ran a sale for it
Well,
recently.
yeah,
but-
that's whatever. I thought it was very strange.
Although I do think that whole thing with the 360 is a really interesting counterpoint for the standard refrain for people saying that mod trips are good things to have because they let you get around the inane restrictions. Because the 360, all they managed to do was figure out how to pirate games.
Yeah.
Haven't tried any harder since to do anything else.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty much all it is. But interestingly enough, a couple weeks ago, somebody signed up for Xbox Live Gold and used one of my email accounts. And I'm like, what? Because I started getting this thing like, welcome to Xbox Gold. I'm like, okay, I actually did just happen to have renewed my thing, but it shouldn't have. It's like, thank you for registering Madden 09. I'm like, what? and I keep getting email for this guy every couple of weeks of, maybe you would like this game. And I'm like, huh? So I check all my credit card stuff to see, is this guy doing? No, he just used the email address.
I had
Well,
the
do
same
you know what
things
that
happen.
means, though? Is now you can go in and ask to reset your password and see if he's bought anything
Oh,
good.
that would be hilarious.
That's funny shit. I don't think he has, because the first game he bought was Madden 09. So chances are there's nothing he's bought that I want.
So you might need to wait for a better registration thing to come up.
Yeah.
Well, and then, you log on there, you can do a license transfer over to your console.
There you
Sit
go.
pretty.
Yeah, you probably have a handful of sports games you never would have bought.
Yeah. And we'll never play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But does it count?
Wait,
toward your-
huh?
I had the same thing happen to me with iTunes. It was before I was actually using it. I had logged on to iTunes and registered with it for some reason before I had a purpose. I just did it at the time, I think to buy music and try it out. But I didn't use it for a couple of years, and then I got an email one day that said I'd changed my password. I was like, oh, that's weird because I haven't been on there. So I went on there and tracked it, and I actually tracked it to some guy in England.
Huh.
And it was before iTunes was international. It was only national, so somebody was using my email to use iTunes so it looked like an American account. And, I mean, it didn't cost me anything, but it was really interesting. I went in there and changed it all and changed the password because I was going to be using it now. But I just thought it was kind of strange, though, that somebody had hacked the account just for that purpose, but they just needed an email,
Huh.
Why wouldn't they just go onto Gmail and sign up for one?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently they couldn't do it from Britain, or there was some problem back
No,
then. It was
that's
before iTunes had been an international thing. It was just local. It was when they first started, I guess. So
All right, so OnLive sucks.
Yeah, when you get wrapped
pretty
around
much
to
the
it,
consensus,
right,
yeah.
so,
Or at least the beta sucks. So.
Yeah.
bad
well,
idea,
and it
bad
will suck
implementation.
because Twitch games at 30 millisecond pings, or 30 millisecond ping, not fun. I mean, the network can be 30 milliseconds, but the input, 30 seconds there, or 30 milliseconds there, 30 milliseconds back, not good.
It's like King of Fighters online right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not so much.
But
All the games will be like that.
But it's in the cloud. It's cloud
cloud.
computing.
Yeah.
Apparently, just no silver lining.
Well, there was one guy who was arguing with me that because all these people had licensed these games to online for them to use on their service, that, well, they wouldn't just throw money after that. And like, well, because they're not. OnLive is paying them money for those licenses. They'll license to anybody.
Yeah.
I don't think you really understand how licensing works.
So next, DLC for Assassin's Creed 2.
Shocking.
Yeah, so 2 are scheduled. The Battle of Forlì and Bonfire of the Vanities for $320 banana dollars each. The Bonfire of the Vanities expansion will not include Tom Hanks, Bruce Willis, or Melody Griffith.
I think we need a new acronym, like DLC for a successful franchise.
Yeah.
No. DLCFS.
So $320 banana dollars each, or space bucks, or whatever you want to call it now.
Bonsai bucks.
Bonsai buddy.
I really thought they were going to be moving towards real dollars.
We-
They don't
we-
seem
Well,
to
they
have
said
done
that they were
quite
going
yet.
to, and apparently that kind of went out the window. Like I say, I think somebody came around to my point of view. Of, why would
there
you want to
was-
do that?
It does
So-
them no good.
Yeah.
So
Only
Brian,
helps the consumer.
so
Yep.
Brian, as you own Assassin's Creed 2, do you have any interest in the expansions?
I have to see what they involve. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm almost at the end of the game, so I'm
Probably
almost
more
pretty much ready
stabbing.
for 'em.
Well,
Hey,
More
more
stabbing.
stabbing is what I like to do in that game.
More
So.
more climbing, more stabbing.
You know, I was chasing the messengers. You know, you look on your little mini map, you see a little lock picture,
Yeah.
and you know there's a messenger that's got money that supposedly was stolen from you. I chased one up a wall, and the guy ran right past a guard, and the guard ended up chasing him down and hacking at him in the corner, and I just ran by and picked up the money and then ran back. The next time I'm chasing the guy down for must have been a minute, and I was like, screw this. I finally caught up to the guy, and I just killed him. I'm like, I'm not chasing your ass anymore. I couldn't. I tried to grab and get the money, but it wouldn't let me do it. So I just assassinated him, and I was like, oh yeah, now it's a lot easier.
It's an important lesson for the thieves to learn, really.
Yeah, you gotta learn
Yeah.
the hard way. Apparently.
yeah, I ran up a wall once to chase one of those guys, and then the model for Ezio got stuck in a roof, and I had to reset my game. It's like, oh wait,
yeah, I had a glitch in one of the
There were-
tombs where I was trying to climb out of the water onto the ground, and I somehow went into the rock, and all I could see is I can see water gushing out of the rock, but I'm like, is this some trick? Do I come out from underneath? And no, I sat there
Yeah,
for
no.
5 minutes. I'm like, damn it.
Stuck
That
under
was
the
at the end of
world.
it too.
there were glitches in the original Assassin's Creed 2 that were very humorous.
Yeah.
So next up, OMG WTF PX3 Hacksword 111 1.
Yep.
So Steve
Yeah.
told me about this.
Yeah.
So it took this
I don't
guy
really
what
care a lot,
3
but-
years to
Something like that.
yeah
No, it
Apparently
took him
all these-
allegedly
Took him 5 weeks.
5
Right,
weeks.
it's been
Yeah, to make this
some years.
unconfirmed
done-
claim.
Yeah.
He has some street cred because he hacked the iPhone.
Yeah.
But
Jailbreaker.
He's like the new version of DVD John, where if you claim something, you can kind of think that, well, there's an okay possibility he actually did it.
the reading his Twitter feed, it's all about how he fucking hates all those entitled bastards that he had to deal with all the iPhone stuff. So
Ah.
Really?
Apparently, this hack also is somewhat useless because all it really gives you is access to the hypervisor now.
well, yeah, I mean, he's got access to the hardware, but
Yeah.
he's using some
Yeah.
seriously obtuse methods, we're sure, and hasn't really done anything.
Do you open the
useful yet.
hypervisor with a Samoflange?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing, okay, now, great. Now you have access to the hardware on this machine. Good luck programming for it. So,
Yeah.
Because even
Professional game developers
Yeah,
can't
they don't wanna
program
do
it
that.
for it.
yeah. Would you like you
which
just
is why it took like a year and a half to get off the ground.
find yourself an OpenGL driver for the PS3?
Third-party developers hate this system.
Although homebrew isn't as interesting as the possibility of trying to get the firmware off, make a couple of minor changes to it to things like, the region check,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
make one you can install.
So, look for John's hacking log at some point.
Yeah.
And it's already region-free anyways, so what's the point?
Point
Well-
is, some people like to break stuff.
It
And
would
the
be
point
nice
is
if
some
it was
people like to play games without paying for them.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's really where the money is in
like
this whole
Final
thing.
Fantasy 13.
Pretty much.
Yep. So, our last bit of news here, TV and computer games blamed for the return of rickets. So make sure you're taking plenty of vitamin D supplements when playing Call of Duty. So,
Or go outside for 5 minutes. For Christ's sake.
okay,
No,
don't
your
you know
body-
that there's an
your
unholy ball of
Your
fire
body
outside?
makes vitamin D by you going outside.
This, my friend, is where the Wii comes in. You get up, you do some Wii sports. Hey, 10 minutes later, you're good to go. Sit back down on the couch.
In front of a window. Oh, wait, no. The window prevents you from doing the vitamin D thing. Get your ass outside. We need to go buy some more pop. Walk to the 7-Eleven. There, problem solved.
We just need to use the same Boktai solution. If it worked for one game, then we're going to solve this health problem.
By night, he's a vampire. By day,
No, some kid's gonna be like, "Hey, mommy, could you buy me a black light from Radio Shack?"
Yeah, you need to buy yourself a couple of full spectrum lights.
Stuff by Spencer's on the way home.
You're in the middle of a game and you forget it's on. You give yourself a sunburn on one half of your body.
I don't think that's possible.
Yes, it is.
Is it really?
Yes.
It's the Daylight 3.
How do you think tanning beds work?
They don't. Really?
Microwaves.
Yeah.
Cooking
Yeah,
the
you
skin. to
sitting
a
in
nice
front of the
golden
microwave
brown.
playing the Xbox 360.
But they don't
Daddy
give
had-
off microwaves, do they?
Those are only southern microwaves where the door doesn't work quite right and it's half open.
We had
half
one of
the
those
time.
at the pizza place I worked at in high school. You had to bang on the damn thing to get the interlocks to engage before you could turn it on. It was pretty awesome. And it's great when the microwave was right there by the front counter. So you put stuff in it, and there's people ordering stuff, and you're banging on the thing. Like,
Was there
can
one-
we get a new microwave? No, it works.
Was there one guy that could always walk up and hit it just right? Like, hey.
And he wore up. Yeah.
You could just jam a paper clip in to fool all the sensors in there. So
No,
you
so,
wouldn't have to
one of the
bother
managers
closing the
eventually
door
took a
anymore.
screwdriver in there, did something, and now then you could keep the door open and it would work. It's like, oh, this is safe.
Safety first. Yeah.
I'll be down in the carcinogen-filled tool room down in the arcade. All right? It seems like a really safer bet for me.
So come over to Steve's place where you can use his Xbox, aka his tanning bed.
Yeah.
Should have renamed the pizza place Half Baked.
Yeah. Best breadsticks ever had.
Have you gone online and did a search to see what exactly is in those breadsticks?
What breadsticks?
Those cheese sticks that you keep talking about at this arcade.
Oh, that place doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, but
went out of
does
business.
the recipe for those sticks exist
Oh,
somewhere?
I doubt it because it was.
Isn't there like isn't there like a Usenet group like alt
food
Nutrition
dot
information from a decade ago.
more than a decade ago. I mean, I was in high school, so
That's
that
prob-
place closed in '94.
alt.foodstuffs
It's 15 years
dot
ago.
cheese
16 years
sticks.
ago.
Wiki.com.
They weren't. Well, they
/
weren't cheese
old.
sticks. They were breadsticks, but they were. And then they had this great cheese sauce. But anyway,
All right. So next we have Care or Don't Care, our bi-yearly feature here. I try and keep
diurnal feature.
our quarterly.
It's actually more of a nocturnal feature. But
Our
it's a-
quarterly newsletter.
It's
involved-
Diehard Gamer Radio's nocturnal emission.
Hey,
care,
hey,
no care.
hey. Nocturnal emission.
Yes.
Yes. That's a Wii game too, right there. So,
Oh, see, we moderately disturbed John with that one. There, we made him look up from his paper.
Yeah, you would think I'd be used to the Wii puns.
Nope.
I used to like them so much.
It's the monster that you created and
He was,
can't stop.
Attacked by a slow-moving gas.
Yep.
all right. So, Armored Core 5. I don't
They
think
count kind of funny, because isn't this like the 10th Armored Core game?
I have no use for this game whatsoever. I've never liked them. I've tried a half a dozen of them. And
Yeah,
I
I
just don't like
tried
them.
one and I'm like, ah.
And then after playing Steel Battalion, it was just like, going back to kindergarten trying to play one of those. So I just lost interest. I did. You know what I liked better than that was the game we used to play on Xbox.
Steel
MechWarrior?
Battalion.
The Mech Assault.
Yeah, the Mech Assaults. Those were actually fun games. Those are what I would like Armored Core to be more like
I
because
just
I
don't
enjoyed those.
I don't understand why Emily was so good at that game. I don't understand.
Yeah, it
She
was
didn't know what
just
she was doing.
uncanny.
She'd just go wander around and kill everybody. Like, what the hell's going on here?
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Just about any mech she got into too. It's
Yeah,
kinda
she just wandered
strange.
around and killed people, and like going, you don't know what you're doing, and yet you're killing all of us.
I think
Ancient
the thing I
Chinese
hated most
secret,
about
huh?
Armored Core was the really small arenas you fought in. Seemed like whatever you were doing, you were going past the border.
So don't care about Armored Core 5.
No.
So Red Dead Redemption, which I've heard something about, but I don't think anyone really cares about that one.
Red Dead Revolver was a good time.
Yeah, on the PC it's pretty cool too.
I don't care about it on the Wii, but I assume it comes to, real consoles too.
So, next, Ace Combat Joint Assault. Apparently these
They're still
pilots
making
have to...
PSP games?
Yes.
Yeah, that's actually going to be the second one on the PSP, I believe.
Yeah.
Second or third?
Second.
Okay, yeah.
The GameStop over by Emma Rogers' place has this gigantic bin full of PSP movies.
Can't imagine why.
That must be the one GameStop that gets them all.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
I
mean,
don't see them at any
it's
GameStop.
huge.
There's
It's like
5 at a GameStop.
It's
now.
like Dante from Clerks made a sign for it too. It's done in like Sharpie and it just points with an arrow down.
Nice.
UMD game or
yes,
UMD
we're
movies.
still open.
Yeah.
What do they cost?
I didn't even look. Like I'm gonna watch a movie on my PSP.
If you're paying money for a UMD movie on there, you're paying too much.
the only good movie I think that went down there was I think they put the Ghost in the Shell movie on there.
Huh.
I've got like 2
The
movies on
Solid
there.
State Society?
No, the old one.
Are
The
they- okay.
what's his name?
The first one.
Yeah,
The Yoshi one.
yeah, the ocean one.
It's almost not worth it anymore because you can just rip from DVD to the PSP format and
Yeah.
download it to your system. So it's UMDs
I mean, if it was
have
50
become
cents,
useless.
it might be worth having for 50 cents. In 20
If
years,
you really
you'd be like,
wanted
check
the
it out.
movie, maybe.
It'll
You
be
could sell
like,
it on eBay in 20 years for like $1,000. It's like how many people have this copy?
yeah, that's assuming that there's any UMD devices that still work in 20 years.
Well,
Oh, sure there'll be. The Logitech's going to make the last one.
yeah, you'll be able to buy a Logitech USB adapted one.
Oh, I
It's gonna be
forgot
like
about that thing.
Betamax in 20 years.
Yep.
Remember these kids? Laser discs.
Yep.
So, but the question is, do you care about Ace Combat on your PSP?
It'll be interesting. I'll wait to see what it looks like. I'll
I
probably
haven't
try it.
opened the packaging on Ace Combat X, so not really.
I'll download the game first and try it, and if I like it, I'll buy it.
It'll suck to have to, hook in that flight controller into the PSP.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be awesome. Yeah, little
Yeah,
tiny toggle, little
Dude,
tiny.
See, knowing you would do that too. You'd be
Now,
like, check
that
this out.
would be worth
Yeah,
hacking.
yeah, your Thrustmaster flight stick that's got hooked up to a PSP and a little stand in front of you.
Of course, at that point, you're just gonna upgrade it from the PSP into your
Yeah.
monitor, anyways.
Yeah.
So it's like a huge workaround just
Yeah.
to play the game
Well,
the way
it's-
you want to.
Yes, it's exactly like again the Kotaku threads. Well, what I do is,
Well,
and
maybe
you're
it'll
like,
be like the Resistance one where you plug your PSP into your PS3
Yeah.
so you can use your flight stick controller off
Yeah.
that.
it's like, why is this game so hard to play? I haven't even turned it on yet.
I love the fact that you can use the PSP on the PS3. I just don't understand why. They finally find a use for it, and it's not really useful at all. It's like, oh man, there are so many possibilities from portable to console, and
Weren't
you found none of them.
weren't they going to use the PSP for Gran Turismo 5 as like your rear view mirror?
Yeah, well, there's also supposed to be other things where you can upload or download cars between the two. There's supposed to be something where you trade information, I thought, from game to game. So that was supposed to benefit you for having a copy of each. But
Did you see
And
the
you get
article?
magical ponies
Yeah.
and unicorns.
Did you see the? By the way,
Race around the
did you see the
track.
article on Kotaku where they showed the Gran Turismo and the real life screenshots going down the same track at side by side? It was really funny because it actually was pretty accurate looking in that still frame screenshot. But the funny thing is that the actual link didn't have a rear view mirror, and the one in Gran Turismo did.
that is kind of funny.
It's like the real guy doesn't care who's behind him; he only cares who's in front of him.
Well, he can't look behind him because they take those mirrors out partially for safety. So
Well, it's like
they never know who's behind them unless they're racing at night. They see headlights, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, somebody's behind me."
that
Well,
was
I'm
really
sure if
funny.
they really cared, their pit crew would tell them too.
Yeah.
The rear view mirror
That's-
is not essential in the racer.
It's kind of
anymore.
funny. Like
You got a
it was
Smokey
totally
on your
realistic.
6.
Yeah, it's totally realistic, except for the parts they added in that aren't in the original.
They needed filler.
Well, they spent all that money on the engine for, realistic reflections. So,
Yeah.
It
You
might
gotta
also be because the one on the track was actually a race car, and they were probably going by the street car for the
Yeah.
Gran Turismo recreation.
Yeah.
But it's not accurate enough, damn it.
Well, it's supposed to be
Which
the
is
same
why
car.
it's been delayed again.
So, I don't know.
What was the car?
Beats the fuck out of me, but the dashes look the same. So
Was it something you could drive on roads?
I have no idea.
Well, it is a car, so I
once
would
again,
assume.
hey, this is Die Hard Gamer Radio. We don't do research here. I looked at a screenshot and based my entire opinion on that screenshot.
Quality reporting.
Yeah.
That's about the research it
Good
takes
enough
to
for
be
Die
a
Hard.
commenter on Kotaku,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so
If you did that on ours, they'd complain about how you didn't do a 14-page review of whatever the hell it was you made an article
It's
on.
fucking Tom's Hardware firing squad.
It's
They're
an
not even
Antec.
that bad.
An Antec does 23 page
an
thing on a prototype CPU that no one will see for another 6 months.
yeah, it's like reading a review.
And if you don't do that, the comments are filled with, "Gee, the article quality on the site is really going down."
it's like reading a
It's like
review
a
on
proto thesis or something for
on
some
was it actionbutton.net, where the reviews are like pages and pages long. It's one of those,
Get to the part where you pee.
You want to write a comment that says, "Hey guys, this is why computer gaming world went out of business."
Well, yeah. Well, the review's like 20 pages long, and then there's a big bold thing in the middle of the review that says, "Now actually talking about the game." It's like, okay, this new games journalism not working out too well.
Well, no. See, they give you the handy disclaimers. You just scroll down to that point.
Yeah, but then the actual review is still another 20 pages long.
Well, they have to do that because when they actually license that content to CNET divides it up into 60 individual pages of 3 paragraphs each with an ad in the middle.
Yeah.
And you have to click through every page.
Yep.
Gotta love the interstitials.
So, God of War 3, care or don't care on that one?
I'm kind of on the fence. I think I might order this, but I don't know.
Care
There's
if
a
I
lot
had
of
a PS3. It's a great series.
yeah, and you're getting all 3 games.
No.
No, God of War 3 is separate. God of War 1 and 2
Oh,
came
yeah,
out
you're
as
right.
a
I'm
combo
confusing.
pack, which I've never played God of War, so
It's a fun
People
game.
seem
I
to
mean,
like
it
it.
really is fun. I got all the way to the end of the first one, and then I stopped for some reason. And I think a friend of mine borrowed it, and I didn't see it for a month. And when I got it back, it was just kind of like, eh.
That
So I
happened to
didn't
me
wanna
with
go-
Assassin's Creed, the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
got
kind of a
about 3/4 of the way
bummer
through the game.
The
and
ending
then,
on God of War is really good.
I'm at the very end. I'm fighting for my family. I just got to go back in there.
Oh,
remember
well,
the
I can
controls
also
and-
see why you wouldn't have
Yeah.
come back. Because trying to come back to that point after a month, it's
It's hard.
it's rough. Because you have to have everything finally honed after playing the whole game to make it through that set of battles.
Yeah, it's one of those series I never quite got around to playing. For
I
whatever
still have the
reason.
sequel, and I'm going to unwrap it one of these days. I just haven't gotten around to it.
I started playing it not too long ago, about a year ago, and it's even better than the first one. I
Yeah.
haven't finished it yet because it's on my PS2, and PS2
I need to
is
play
kinda
that,
old,
and I need to
but-
play the PSP one as well because I haven't done that. The
I just
Chains
sh-
of Olympus.
I just shifted around my PS2 in my closet yesterday, so
I've been
So
playing the PSP one when I've been traveling, and it's the best game on the PSP. My only
Awesome.
problem with it is my battery gets down to about halfway down and starts glitching.
Wow.
I think it might
Okay.
be because on the PSP one for that, they actually overclock the processor a bit, which I bet works better on the newer PSP models and
Time
not
to get
my
a lighter
old
plug-in.
first gen one.
You get charged into the car while you're playing.
That's always on a plane. That's when I play, so
Right.
not really a lot of charging options.
Yeah. Need to buy that, do what I do where I got 2 batteries and you can just charge the extra battery up at home on a separate charger and then you got 2 to swap out.
I do have the second battery, but it's still annoying when you get only halfway through the battery and the game starts falling
Yeah.
over.
So, God of War 3, we kind of care, and I was thinking I might pick up the God of War 1 and 2 pack, but
If you haven't played them, I mean, then you get to play a better version of them, and they're
they'll
good
be in
games.
high def.
And the frame
Whatever
rate
that
would be
means.
smooth too.
it doesn't matter. The Wii guys say it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. So
They don't care, so why should we?
So,
well, on the PS2, the frame rate was not solid in the big battles, so that would be a nice thing to get out of buying the PS3 version
Okay.
instead.
Yeah.
so Heavy Rain. I know John cares about this game.
If I had a PS3, I'd buy it, but I
I'm
don't.
kind of curious
so-
to it. I've been watching
come on,
or reading
Sony,
the
drop down
articles
that
on
price.
it. It'll be interesting. We'll have to see.
So you kind of care.
I do. I'm kind of interested in it. I wasn't interested until John brought it up, and then I watched the videos for it, and I was kind of like, this is kind of interesting.
Now,
We
did you
need to see
complain
what they
about the
do with
box art?
it. No.
I thought,
I never got that far.
I thought that was Mass Effect 2 that we were complaining about the box art this month.
Yeah.
I've played all the rest of Quantic Dreams games, So eventually I'll get around to playing this one. So yeah, I'm interested. Just the PS3 is the hurdle.
Isn't it? It's not coming out on anything else.
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay.
PS3
Well,
needs to be cheaper.
See that note next to Heavy Rain says parentheses PS3. Parentheses.
Yeah.
So last, Red Steel 2.
Did the Red Steel one
Otherwise
suck?
known
Yes.
as Can We
Oh,
Sucker You In a
God.
Second Time?
God, that game sucked.
They promise they
I-
have
I
a
had such
revolutionary
hope for
new
that
control
game.
scheme again.
Yeah, again.
It's like this is bad.
So
even
does
for a
that mean
release
taking
title.
the Wii Mote and like shoving it up your ass? Or
I think they're going to require the Wii Motion Plus.
oh, that's not excellent.
They're also going to require the Tony Hawk skateboard.
It's only for the chase scenes on the skateboard.
Now I could see No More Heroes 2 doing that.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody, ride and grab your Wii Motion Plus.
I didn't really understand No More Heroes 1, so
So you're not gonna pick it up for your Xbox 360?
yeah, for my non-existent Wii.
Mm.
I have a GameCube.
Well-
It's kind of like a Wii.
Yeah, but
Actually,
no
it's a lot like a Wii.
Well,
You have to duct tape 2.5 of them together, and then you get there.
yeah, just wire them in parallel.
but
Paint
no
it
more,
white.
No More Heroes is coming out on the Xbox 360.
Yeah, I didn't understand it when it came on the Wii either.
No.
It looked like spazzes playing the thing.
It's like
That's most of
Yeah.
most
It's like-
everyone that plays
Yeah.
Xbox, Steve.
It was
no,
like
no,
people
no, no.
LARPing with lightsabers.
Yeah, it's big PVC things, except you didn't have a big PVC and that you weren't actually hitting anything.
On the plus side, with the 360 version, won't have to read posts from people saying, "Yeah, but the jacking off was really fun."
I don't remember seeing any of those. I must have missed that.
Oh man, you missed out.
Oh, I don't think so.
You can look it up on YouTube. There's those videos and clips of him
No.
doing it.
Well, I know the whole jacking off thing is in the game. I just
Didn't realize it was a highlight for some people. Neither did I.
is that a way to spend an evening?
Jacking off?
Well,
Most men would say so, but they'd prefer a woman.
and if it takes all evening, you're probably doing
Although
it
some
wrong.
men would also say that women can't do it quite right. So I don't know. Yeah, it's 6 to 1, half dozen
It's
to another.
tantric, Murdock. It's tantric.
So was this coming from personal experience, Brian?
I'm just saying.
He's not saying.
Some-
He's just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I really think Red Steel 2 would have to come out with like a 90+ Metacritic review rating before anybody took a second look at it.
So how much
Well,
money
or
is
took
that
it-
going to cost them to get
Or
that
took
type
it
of score?
seriously.
How many sex droids to?
How many jacking off points in the game?
Yeah.
That's probably a completely different game.
Now it's time to make your sword grow.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Later,
Kotaku
I'll show you
just
how to
had the
cross swords.
article for that one. What is it, like Cross Edge, I think, that they delayed for the release of the special peripheral.
Wow.
yeah.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
This is-
Teledildonics.
teledildonics.
You're
yes.
laughing, yeah, but that's a term that goes back to the late '80s. There's a guy who wrote a research.
It is a
paper.
growing field, isn't it, Steve?
Yes. Teledildonics.
You okay there,
They-
Brian?
go look up. There's a fact or an RFQ for or what is it? RFC for teledildonics.
Really? They had a protocol specified?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Hey, they had the
Try and
carrier
get
pigeon.
that through Eric.
It's not even dated April 1st.
No.
You okay?
The guy wrote a research paper and everything in the early 90s. It was crazy.
He was way ahead of his time.
So you
far
look it
ahead,
up. It's got a
nobody can
Wikipedia
tell.
article.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is the part of the podcast where we normally do Steve's Star Trek pontification, but
we just put that
kind
at
of
the
hit that at the beginning.
It was so important we couldn't wait.
Well,
Well, it was
he got the
interesting.
beta.
We segued. We couldn't stop
It's
ourselves.
pretty. It's pretty awesome.
Who's
You know
the
what-
beta?
You know what the really great thing about this game is so far? You don't have to go back to an NPC to get a mission because you have subspace communications. You hit the little communication button and you call whoever you want. It's pretty awesome.
What a country!
Although there is some funny things in the text where some of the NPCs assume that you're standing in front of them. So they're like, "Enjoy your time here at Starbase 1," and you're like, I'm like 4 sectors away. But all right. Or like they'll say, "Oh, talk to Commander blah blah blah. He's in the bar." I'm like, "The bar? The bar's on the other side of the galaxy. Damn it!"
Can't just call him up too.
You can transwarp drive back there. That's your home stone.
Okay.
You get a transwarp drive one every 40 minutes or whatever to get you back to Sol.
So, how many red shirts do you get with this?
Well, they
Interesting
resupply after they die. So
Interesting you should mention that the
They're
bridge,
mined like crystals.
your bridge crew are all selectable, promotable NPCs that are
Okay.
actually good. So you get like up to 5 or 6 bridge officers that all have different skills and crap. And you bring them, you can beam down your whole bridge crew down to the planet in total Star Trek style. Take everybody who's important and put them in danger.
well, you take everybody that's important plus one guy.
One
He's
guy.
like the new ensign or something.
It is funny that if you don't at the beginning of the game, where if you don't have enough bridge officers, they will assign you a security guy.
There you go.
So
Look, a Klingon.
what happens when they die?
When they die, I'm pretty good. They don't actually die. However, interesting gameplay mechanic. If you actually get your ass handed to you and your other guys are still fighting, you can call for help and one of the guys will run over and revive you.
Okay.
Which is
So
pretty neat.
Can you do the same thing to them when they
Yep.
go down?
Yep.
Okay.
You've got the medical tricorder.
But there are acceptable losses sometimes.
Well, did you ever play the old Star Trek point-and-click games?
The last Star Trek game I played was a stand-up arcade from Atari.
The point-and-click games were great, and every time you went down on an away mission, you had,
Your dudes.
Bones, Kirk, Spock,
Yeah.
and a red shirt.
Yeah.
And you could fuck up one of the
Once.
puzzles anywhere on the away team mission, and the red shirt ate it.
Hey, 3 out of 4
Pretty
came
awesome.
back. What would you say? It was good odds.
Well, that's cool. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. So,
You ever play the Kobayashi alternative? It was a
Maru?
text-based one. No, it was a game
No.
called the Kobayashi alternative. And what it was is the storyline was that a bunch of Vulcans had beat the Kobayashi Maru, and so they had to put in a new scenario-based thing where you had to go on a couple missions and stuff and everything. It was really hard. I mean, it was a really hard game, and so you basically devolved, if you didn't want to spend the time figuring all the puzzles, so you'd start shooting stuff. And it didn't turn out well, but it was pretty entertaining. Didn't turn out well for you. You typically failed every time.
That's the name alternative.
They didn't go with the Jim Kirk,
There was no
problem
cheat
solving.
code.
Re-engineer
Yeah.
it.
Well, there was no, there was
Make it winnable.
there was no Jim Kirk. We'll just keep firing until the problem solves itself.
So how's Jumpgate Evolution coming along?
Don't even care.
All right.
I
Still stuck in a jump
haven't
gate
heard
somewhere out
anything
in
about
space.
it at all.
Or Huxley.
I looked up the Wikipedia article on Huxley, which was not researched because it was done after the last podcast. And apparently there was a very small open beta in July of last year,
Uh-huh.
and after that, nobody knows anything.
Yeah.
Well, that's encouraging.
Yeah, apparently it's a Twitch shooter type thing. So,
It's like a MMO FPS is what they call it.
well, yeah, it's kind of supposedly it's more twitchy than shit. What was that game? Garriott's game.
Borderlands?
No, the Garriott game.
You mean Tabula Rasa?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that wasn't
right.
really a Twitch game. It kind of had an interface like a Twitch game, but it wasn't really.
Mm.
So
And what was the one we tried playing for like a day?
that was
Neocron?
Neocron 2.
Yeah.
That was
didn't
awful.
go well either.
That was a really bad game.
Had
I've
an
actually
interface
seen.
like a Twitch game though.
I did see some people that actually play that game
Wow.
on a regular basis, and I said, "Do you have a gimp suit too?"
Little red ball you tie
Yeah.
around your mouth.
Because really, it's not fun unless you enjoy pain.
So, Steve, next up, I guess you're going to pick up Prison Tycoon, the MMO, or
That's a crying shame that didn't run.
I haven't had a chance to try it on an XP virtual machine yet. I'll have to give it a shot.
Do you have the version of Windows 7 that lets you
I do.
run the
It doesn't
XP
run it.
mode? Wow.
Doesn't
So
work.
in the MMO, you have the option to be the bitch or the butch.
Yeah, there's only two
Yeah,
classes.
2 choices.
There's a fair amount of customization available in the characters too.
For Star Trek?
Yeah.
How
All
many alien races do they have?
It looked like there were about 12 in the beta. I'm not sure how many of those races they made all the races available to you in the beta, so you could try them.
Okay.
I don't know how many of them are available through the normal game and how many of them are bonus items. Also, I don't know if it applies to the regular game or just the beta, but in the beta, the way they do levels is you get skill points for accomplishing things and you spend them, and after you spend a certain amount, you go up ranks, and the numbers in between ranks, or grades.
Oh.
You go up grades, and so you start off as an ensign, and you get, by the end of the tutorial, you're promoted to a lieutenant, and there's 10 grades of lieutenant before lieutenant commander, and that translates into 6,500 skill points that you have to spend and earned.
Mm-hmm.
And so you spend it on all these different skills and shit like that. So that makes it really hard to power level, but your attributes are based on when you make your character, you get 2 attributes and then you pick 2 other ones, and the 2 are set by the race that you pick. And I know at least one of the races, the Trill one, was in the beta.
Okay, and we know that's one of the pre-order.
And we know that's one of the pre-order ones. So I don't know how many of the other ones are in pre-order.
Okay.
But you get some bonus for something or other. So.
Although in Star Trek tradition, it seems like it'd be pretty easy for them to just keep adding differently ridged people. As,
yeah.
Expand the roster as much as they like.
Apparently they have
Klingon to Bajoran to...
They've got some sort of system that randomly generates star systems. So there are a couple of things where you go into this nebula that's been unexplored and explore the systems you find there, and you get all these randomly generated missions.
Okay.
It's just kind of
randomly generated aliens? That would
maybe.
be awesome.
I don't know. There's a lot of aliens, though.
Do you have to keep a captain's log?
You can.
Really?
It actually keeps a log of all the
to
things
Twitter?
you do. No, it does a log of everything that you do, and then you can actually add notes, and it's called your supplemental.
Got my ass kicked off the server.
Yeah.
Got beat up by a Gorn. Not my proudest moment.
It's got voiceovers by Leonard Nimoy. Oh, the timeline. I figured out what the timeline is, what they did. They basically assume that the events at the very beginning of the Star Trek reboot happened, so the stuff that was in the old timeline, and then they just don't go off to the new timeline. They stick with the old timeline and just go forward. So there's notes of Nero and Spock are assumed dead after the Romulan sun goes supernova, and then they just keep going from that.
Weird.
Yeah.
So, but they can't integrate those 2 storylines, can they? Or
No.
This is entirely in the reboot universe and doesn't.
No, this is entirely in the old universe.
With the reboot stuff jammed in.
Not really.
No, the reboot doesn't even happen.
No, there's no. The only they do have the reboot uniforms as one of the options, which may be a bonus pre-order content thing.
Okay.
But there's no there's no Vulcan blew up thing or anything like that.
That is a bonus pre-order. I saw that.
Yeah.
For the new outfits.
All right.
It's a
So,
strange thing.
do we have anything else before we close out this podcast?
I watched a video about an MMO, which in Diehard Gamer Radio tradition makes me fully qualified to review the entire thing.
Well, I watched
a documentary about LARPers.
I watched a documentary on the font Helvetica that doesn't make me a typesetter.
I watched a YouTube video.
Makes you a wannabe typesetter.
By the way, speaking about videos, Steve bought the PAX 6-pack video.
Let me also.
But you didn't go to PAX.
I know.
That's
It's
why
like
you buy
being
the
at
pack.
PAX.
It's like being at PAX
Actually,
without getting the
Although
crud.
even less social.
Yeah.
It's actually getting the best of it, so you didn't have to be there.
Well, you didn't have to
frickin'
get
time.
H1N1. You could. It's like they didn't give you a little packet. Break this open, and you get H1N1. It's like the total experience.
Pack sounds
Should
like
it come with like a little packet of airborne?
Yeah, that's what it. No, they give you a little packet that had H1N1 in it. You just pop it open and start watching the DVDs.
Oh, that's
That would have been in grand Infocom tradition if they had, though.
Yeah, but you can't take a shower for a day. And
Yeah.
you need the funk. And
But I have to say to give the, shall we say, colloquial quote unquote shout out to the Penny Arcade customer service people, because I had discs 1 and 5 that had chapters that were broken, and I wrote to them and said, hey, can I get exchanges for these 2 discs? They said, oh, sorry about that. We'll just send you a whole new box set, and don't bother sending the old one back. I'm like, oh yeah, works for me.
Now you got some nice coasters for your table.
Yeah, I'll give the other disc to somebody else. Because it's
somebody who wants 2, 3, 4, and 6.
Well, it's only 1 chapter each on the first, and the first one, it's in the middle of some keynote speech by the guy who did Maniac Mansion and Monkey Island and crap like that.
Right.
And then
Was that
there's
Tim Schafer?
I don't remember. I don't think it's Tim Schafer. It starts with an M.
Hmm.
I have to look it up. I don't. I could just look at the DVD because it's on the DVD. But the and the other ones is 1 song in the middle of Jonathan Colton's concert.
This is a good song.
It's Blue Sky something or other, so I don't know. Maybe. I couldn't really listen to it because it was kind of broken.
You haven't gotten a new one yet?
No, I just told him today.
Okay.
So I only got it like last Monday and got to. I got to disc 1 and it was like broken. I'm like, well, let me see if the rest of these are any good. And I got to disc 5 on Saturday or something like that. So. Cool. Figured there was nobody monitoring the customer service email for Penny Arcade orders on Saturday night, so I wasn't going to buy
That's impressive, yeah.
Cool. All right, well, that is it for Diehard Gamer Radio.
Oh, they also have a Megathon. They documented the whole Megathon thing.
Oh.
It's pretty cool. The same people that do the whole 2-player productions things that's doing PAX TV.
All right.
All stuff.
Quick, cut it off before he comes up with something else.
All right, well, thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio.
Wait, there's more.
But I had news.
Thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio. You can visit our website at diehardgamerradio.com and iTunes, or you can email us at diehardgamerradio@gmail.com.